Hello friends, Olivia here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing and discussing What If It's Us by Becky Abertelli and Adam Silvera. I would also like to say spoilers. This is not going to be a non-spoily review. This is going to be full on spoilers. So if you have not read this, then yeah, I would click out because this is just going to be all spoilers about this book. Okay, so first off, I would like to recommend the audiobook than actually reading the book. The audiobook is so good and it's narrated by two actors, and one actor does Arthur's voice and the other actor does Ben's voice, because it goes back and forth with the chapters of Ben, Arthur, Ben, Arthur. Arthur is played by Noah Gavin, and I had to look him up. He was from the show The Real O'Neills. If anybody's seen that, I actually watched a few clips and I was like, oh, he's so adorable. And then I think his name's Troy Gutierrez, plays Ben, and he showed up at, I think, the last season of Teen Wolf, and I think he's a model, but I'm not sure what else he's in. But if you're gonna like look them up to see what their voices sound like, I highly recommend that. But yeah, like I was saying, that I definitely recommend the audiobook and listening to it because they do the voices so well for Ben and Arthur, and it's so perfect. Okay, so short summary before I go into full spoilers is this book is about two boys who meet in New York. Arthur, who is interning at I think a law firm or something with like his mom or something like that, and he's from Georgia. And then Ben, who lives in New York, who just feels like the universe is out to get him. So they meet because Ben is walking to the post office and he's mailing a box of his ex-boyfriend's stuff. And then Arthur runs into him. He's like, oh my gosh, is this fate? Like, were we meant to meet? Like, oh my gosh, what a cute boy. Stuff like that. It's really adorable when they first meet. So that's just a short summary of that. Just they both meet and they're just like, what if it's us? And they try to find each other, etc., etc. And that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to go into spoilery stuff. Now I'm going to go into spoilery stuff now that I did a short summary of, you get the gist of it. So let's start off. I love them both. I don't think I have a favorite. Wait, no, that's a lie. Arthur's my favorite. I love Ben, but I felt like I related more to Arthur. Because Arthur was just, you know, things would happen. He's like, oh my gosh, like, is this fate? Were we meant to be? Is this a sign? Like, I'm like that sometimes. And I'm just like, I'm more like Arthur than I am more like Ben. I love Ben, but I feel like I can relate to Arthur more. But I do, like I said, I do love Ben so much. But okay, so they meet, like I said before, they meet at a post office, and Arthur's like, oh my gosh, what a cute boy, yada yada yada. And then Ben is trying to ship his box to his ex's, which his ex also lives in New York, but I get that he didn't want to go to his house or give it to someone to give it to him. He just wanted to ship it, but then it was like too expensive to ship, and so he decided not to. And then there was a flash mob, I think, for someone who worked there. Someone was proposing, and I guess Ben just leaves, and Arthur's like, I was trying to get your number, I don't know who you are. And so on for the book. So throughout the book, I think it's like not even going towards halfway through the book, they do eventually find each other because Arthur put up a missing sign, I think, something like that, like a Craigslist thing. But he didn't know what Ben's name was. He thought it was Hudson because Ben left the shipping slip or something. But Arthur couldn't read the name, so all he saw was Hudson, so he thought his name was Hudson. Then he finds out that his name is Ben. So, and Arthur actually runs into Hudson at a Panera Bread, which is hilarious. And I knew it was Hudson when I read that. Not when I read that, but when I listened to that, I was like, oh my gosh, I bet that's Hudson. Like I said, throughout the book, not throughout the book, but like I said, halfway through the book, they try to find each other through a missing thing, and then Ben finally he sees it and he emails it, and he finally finds Arthur, and they're talking, and then they go on their first date, well, meetup/date. And I would like to say some of these dates in here are the most cringiest dates ever. I watch a couple other people's reviews and they're just like, yeah, the book was just like kind of cringy when it came to the dates. And I'm just like, but that's what, okay, dates never go according to what you want them to go to. Some people have perfect dates, some people don't. And it was nice to see some really cringy dates because not every date will always be perfect. So every time they go on a date and it's like slightly ruined, they're like, okay, do-over. This is our date number 1.5. It's a do-over, it's a do-over, until they get the perfect date. And I think it's so cute. But I just liked how they wrote the dates because, like I said, no date is perfect. I was like, no date's perfect. Like, come on, no date is perfect. But they do these do-over dates and it's just, they're so precious. And like they finally have the perfect date and Arthur's never kissed anyone, and at one point Ben finally kisses him and it's like perfect. And I like how Ben was very patient with him. And it's sad because at the end of the summer, I almost said George, but Arthur has to go back to Georgia. And I knew where this book was going. I was like, oh my gosh. So they do, okay, so towards the end of the book, of course Arthur has to go back to Georgia, and Ben and Arthur know that, and it's like, it's so sad. But at one point Arthur, because Ben's in summer school, Arthur goes to the school to surprise him because it's like the end of the month, so he wants to see him more before he has to go back. And that day Hudson, his ex-boyfriend, wanted to make up with him and be friends again, and Ben's like, sure. And they agreed to hang out after school, but Arthur's there. And so you can see what could happen, that they got in a fight and Arthur broke up with him because he's like, Hudson was in your summer school class and you never told me. And I'm like, Ben, you should have told him. But then I'm like, Arthur, you shouldn't have overreacted like that. Like, come on. Where's the trust? To mention that Ben has a best friend named Dylan, and Arthur has two friends back at home named Jesse and Evan or Ethan, something like that. I can't remember. I wasn't really like drawn to their side plots or anything like that, really. I was just more focused on Ben and Arthur and their cuteness together. But so when they finally make up, because Dylan, Ben's friends, ends up in the hospital because he has like this heart condition, and the only person he really wanted to call was Arthur, of course, and Arthur meets him at the hospital, but Dylan's okay, just a false alarm. And also that day is Arthur's birthday and he has the whole apartment to himself. Go back to the apartment, and Arthur's mom, I think mom or dad, calls him and it's like, hey, I got a present for you downstairs. And they go downstairs and it's his two friends from Georgia that they both flew in. And I'm just like, that's so sweet. But also it sucks because like in like 2 days he has to go back to Georgia, and that was their only alone time. And so they have a good night with their friends, and it's Arthur's birthday, and they go home, and Ben and Arthur do the devil's tango, as I like to call it. But it's so sweet. Like, Ben was always adorable with him, with like his first kiss and his first time in bed. And I thought it was really sweet how they wrote about like consent and the stuff they did together, and how he wanted to make it magical. I'm like, so cute. It's kind of adorable because like, Ben's like, hold on a sec, I'll be right back. And he goes back in the room. Well, everyone already left. And Arthur's on his phone. He's like FaceTiming with his mom. And Ben comes out and and he's only in his underwear. And then Arthur's like, oh my god. It was like the best scene in the book. And of course he hangs up on his mom. He's like, gotta go. And he goes in the room. And Ben's like on the bed with like, I think it was like fake flowers and heart stickers that he put on the bed. And I'm like, that is so sweet. He wanted to make it so like magical his first time. I thought that was like the sweetest part of the book. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. And so we get the end of the book. Arthur goes back to Georgia, and it's the epilogue. and it's 15 months later, and you're just wondering, did they stay together? And the answer is no. And I know a lot of people didn't like this ending, but I actually really liked this ending because it wasn't the generic, they're gonna get together, blah, blah, blah. They were together, they went to the same school, but no, they stayed friends, but they're like good friends and they're Skyping like every day. But I like how it ended, how it was just like, what if we are meant to be? What if I do go back to New York and we do get back together? You know, what if it's us? And I'm just like, I like that ending because it kind of leaves it open to, yes, they're not together anymore, but maybe, just maybe, the universe has a plan for them later in life. And I just like that lesson of sometimes you don't always stay together with someone. And maybe you'll get back together with them. You never know. I'm going to read from the book because, like I said, I liked how they wrote the ending. So it's the epilogue and it's Arthur. And the last thing he says is, it's true, I love his smile, I love his voice, I love his face, I love that he lives in my phone. Even now, I love being his friend, his best friend. My best friend, Ben. Maybe that's what the universe wanted. Maybe that's us. I hate that. I hate that so much, but I love it because it's like, so sad, but so good. And then here's Ben's. He says, what if we rewrite everything we expect from happy endings? Or what if we haven't seen the best of us yet? Which he's talking about Arthur clearly. And I'm just like, you see how it leaves it open to, what if we do meet again? What if fate in the universe have a plan for us? What if it's us? What we don't know. I just love the ending so much. It was sad not seeing them together, but it was good seeing them as like best friends. So also, I would like to point out how adorable the cover is. Look how cute they are. Oh my gosh. I just can't. I literally just can't. I'm just like, I love this book so much. It was just so much fun to listen to, and the actors were great. And the whole story was really good. It was just something different, and I needed something different. And it was just such a good book. I did buy the book after listening to the audiobook on Libby, and because I just wanted to own it. And I'm just like, and then I started listening to it again because it's just a fun story to listen to, and I'm just like, I just can't. Probably one of my favorite romance book of the year. I feel like it definitely is. I think this is one of my favorite books of the year. I just really, really enjoyed it. And I think this book came out last year. Yeah, it did. I believe it did come out last year. And I'm just like, why didn't I not read this last year? Oh yeah, I forgot. I was in the reading slump. Yeah, that is all I want to discuss about the book. If I missed anything, any key plot points, sorry. I just wanted to focus on Arthur and Ben. But yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around, and have a good day.